Maya's voice cracked, her hands trembling as she stood over Elliot, who was now on his feet, jaw clenched in fury. "I said leave, Elliot, and if you ever disrespect me or anyone here again, I'll make sure you never step foot in this place again." His eyes narrowed, disbelief twisting his features, but Maya stood her ground. The door slammed behind him. "Before we dive into this story, I need to know something. How far would you go to protect the people you love? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. And if you've ever felt like love was worth fighting for, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you'll want to hear how this ends. Now, let me take you back to where it all began. Maya is working a busy shift at the diner, serving regulars and chatting with the staff, her face a mask of calm as she moves through the chaos of the lunch rush. The diner is warm and familiar, with the smell of fresh coffee in the air and the low hum of old jukebox songs playing in the background. Maya is a fixture here. She's been working at this same diner for years, slowly saving up for something bigger, something better. But every day, the reality of her life sets in. The long hours, the endless bills, the broken dreams. Maya's co-workers are a patchwork of people with their own stories. One of them, Danny, an aspiring artist, chats with her while wiping down the counter. Their bond is simple but strong, built on shared experiences and understanding. Then enters Elliot. He's well-dressed, confident, and immediately makes himself known as someone who expects the best of everything. He orders a drink, barely making eye contact with Maya. The instant he opens his mouth, the casual charm of a billionaire in need of a moment of distraction spills out. But as the conversation progresses, he starts to test boundaries, first with small, inappropriate comments, then escalating to more personal remarks. Maya, ever the professional, ignores him, brushing off his comments. But as the tension builds, so does Elliot's frustration with her lack of interest. Maya's discomfort grows. She watches him toy with his phone, the new tech gadgets flashing in her peripheral vision, and something stirs in her. Is this the life she wants? The wealth, the easy power? She remembers her past, her mother's struggle, the betrayal by an old lover. But no matter how much she longs for something different, this is not the way. Elliot continues his inappropriate behavior, leaning in too close, making lewd comments. Maya's patience snaps. She doesn't back down. Her voice shakes with authority, but it's clear to everyone watching. She won't be treated like this. "If you don't leave right now, I'll call the cops," she warns. The scene ends with Elliot storming out of the diner, his pride wounded, the door slamming behind him. The staff watches in stunned silence. Maya takes a deep breath and glances at Danny, who gives her a reassuring nod. But as she's about to return to work, she notices something in the distance, a helicopter approaching. But neither of them knew this was only the beginning. The next day, Maya is wiping down the counter after another long shift. The restaurant is quieter now, the lunch rush behind her, and she's finally able to take a breath. Her body aches from being on her feet all day, but she's used to it. She doesn't mind. It's the price of keeping the place running, and she's always been good at making things work. It's just another Wednesday, until she hears the chime of the diner door opening. Maya doesn't look up at first. It's just another customer, probably someone looking for a late lunch. But then she hears a voice, unmistakable and sharp. Is she here? Maya's heart skips a beat, and she looks up to see Elliot standing by the door, his posture all wrong, like he's used to having everything on his terms. He's wearing an expensive suit, the kind that says, "I'm important," without him needing to speak a word. But he's not alone. Right behind him is a man in his 50s, tall, broad-shouldered, and carrying himself with a kind of quiet power that fills the room. He's dressed in a crisp, dark suit, the kind of man who looks like he's just stepped out of a high-rise office meeting. He exudes confidence, the kind that money and success can buy. It's then that Maya realizes who the man is. "Mr. Harris," she says, her voice steady despite the shock rising in her chest. Jack Harris, Elliot's father, the billionaire mogul who owns half the city, the man who's been in the headlines for years, controlling everything in his path. Maya's stomach tightens. Where's the girl? Jack's voice is cold, smooth, with an edge that makes Maya's spine stiffen. "Excuse me?" Maya asks, her words almost instinctively defensive. She's not going to let him walk in here and throw his weight around. "Elliot here," Jack says, nodding to his son, "has a little misunderstanding with you. He thought you might be open to hearing him out. I've brought him here to offer an apology." His words sound rehearsed, like he's read them from a script. It's clear this isn't about genuine remorse. It's about making the problem go away. Maya's eyes flick to Elliot, standing stiffly beside his father. His arrogance is still there, even now, but there's something else in his eyes. Regret? Maybe. Or maybe he's just trying to follow his father's lead. Either way, it's clear he's not here to apologize. He's here because he has to. Maya takes a deep breath, pushing away the fear that tightens in her chest. "I don't want your apology," she says, shaking her head. "I didn't do anything wrong." Jack narrows his eyes, clearly not used to being challenged. "You don't understand how things work, do you, Maya?" he says, his voice dipping into something colder. "Elliot has the power to change your life. I can show you what you're missing, what you don't have to struggle for. A helicopter ride. A chance to get out of here." Maya blinks, her mind racing. The offer is absurd. She knows this game, the one where money can make everything go away. But she's not like them. She's not going to let herself be bought. Not like this. "I'm not interested in your helicopter ride," Maya says, her tone sharp. "And I don't want anything from you." Jack's smile falters, but he recovers quickly, his eyes flicking to Elliot. The tension in the room is thick now, suffocating. Maya stands her ground, but Elliot shifts uncomfortably beside his father, his gaze on the floor. For the first time, she sees the cracks in his mask. "Look, Maya," Elliot says, his voice low but strained. "My dad doesn't get it. He thinks everything can be fixed with a check or a deal. But..." He trails off, his frustration with his father obvious, though he doesn't say it directly. "I didn't mean what I said yesterday. I shouldn't have acted like that. I'm sorry." It's the first real apology Maya's heard from him, but it feels strange. It doesn't quite reach her. "I appreciate the apology," Maya replies, her voice firm. "But I don't need anything from you, and I certainly don't need you to fix me." Jack steps forward, his smile now gone, replaced with a hard edge. "You don't have a choice, Maya. You think you're in control here, but you're not. You're just a waitress. There's a whole world you don't know about. You've been stuck in this little diner for too long. I'm offering you a way out. Don't be foolish." Maya's chest tightens as she meets his gaze, not backing down. "And you think that's what I want? To be saved by you?" She glances around the diner, at the cozy booths, the well-worn tables. "This is my life, and I'm happy with it. I don't need your money, your helicopter ride, or your power. So you can tell your son to get out." Jack's expression darkens. "You'll regret this," he warns, his voice cold and final. Maya stands tall, her back straight. "Maybe, but I won't regret staying true to myself." With that, Jack turns on his heel and heads for the door, his shoulders tight with irritation. Elliot lingers, his eyes searching hers, but he doesn't speak. As the door slams shut behind them, Maya exhales, feeling a weight lift off her shoulders. The diner feels quieter now, the hum of the jukebox louder in the silence. But something in Maya shifts. She's made her choice, and now she has to live with it. Pride is a liar, and theirs was about to cost them everything. The next few days are a blur. Maya throws herself into work, the routine a comfort against the strange mix of anger and relief she's feeling. The diner, with its creaky booths and flickering neon sign, is the only world she knows. Her co-workers treat her with quiet respect, sensing that something's different. She doesn't mention the confrontation with Elliot or his father again. She doesn't need to. It's over in her mind. But every time she sees the helicopter on the news, every time she hears the word Harris, something in her chest tightens. It's a reminder of the world she's not part of. A world she doesn't belong to. She's not foolish enough to think she can change her life with a single decision. But the thought lingers. The thought that maybe, just maybe, she could have said yes. She shakes her head, dismissing it. She doesn't need their help. She's better than that. On the other side of the city, Elliot is struggling too. He hasn't been able to stop thinking about Maya since he left the diner. His father's words echo in his mind. You think she'll ever let you back in now? He can't shake the feeling that she's right. He wasn't offering an apology. He was offering a fix. A way to sweep things under the rug, to make everything better with money and power. But Maya saw through him. She saw the person he really was, the one he didn't even know existed. He's sitting at a high-rise bar, a glass of whiskey in front of him, the city stretching out below him. He doesn't belong here, not in his heart. He knows it, but he's afraid. Afraid that if he steps out of his comfort zone, if he admits he was wrong, it will all fall apart. That he'll lose everything, including his pride. I shouldn't have done it, he murmurs to himself, staring into the amber liquid. But even now, he can't bring himself to pick up the phone, to call Maya, to apologize properly. Back at the diner, Maya is wiping down the same spot on the counter for what feels like the 100th time. She's restless, though she can't explain why. There's a knot in her stomach, a gnawing feeling she can't shake. It's a strange mix of guilt and something else, a desire to move forward. She's never been one to regret her decisions, but that moment with Elliot keeps playing in her head. Could she have done something differently? Should she have accepted the offer? No, she won't entertain the thought. She's made her choice and she'll live with it. The door chimes and Maya doesn't look up. Another customer. She's used to the rhythm of it all, orders, greetings, small talk, goodbyes. But then, she hears a voice. Maya. It's familiar. Too familiar. She looks up slowly, and there he is. Elliot. Standing at the door like he belongs here. His face is a little worn, eyes tired, but there's something different about him. A softness, a vulnerability she hasn't seen before. Maya sighs, wiping her hands on her apron. What do you want? Her voice is sharp, but it's hard to mask the tension she feels. I've been thinking about what happened, Elliot says, stepping inside. His voice is quieter now, more subdued. And I realize I was an ass. I shouldn't have treated you or anyone here the way I did. Maya crosses her arms, leaning against the counter. She knows what this is, an apology, but one that comes with strings attached. He wants to fix things, make it right, and maybe, just maybe, she should let him. But no, she won't. I told you, Elliot. I don't need your apology. I don't need anything from you, she says, keeping her voice steady. You can't buy your way out of this. I know, he says quickly. I'm not trying to buy anything. I was wrong. I think you were right, and I've been thinking about that a lot. I've been hiding behind my dad's money for too long, and I don't want to be that person anymore. Maya doesn't say anything right away. His words hang in the air between them, thick with hesitation. She can see that he's trying, but she's not sure it's enough. She can't forget how he made her feel, how he treated her like she was nothing, just someone there to serve him. You don't get it, do you? She says, her voice quiet now, almost like a confession. You think you can just walk in here and apologize and everything will be fine. But you're not sorry for the right reasons. You're sorry because you've been embarrassed. His eyes widen, but she doesn't stop. You don't see the difference, do you? You think you can fix things by throwing money around or saying the right words. But it's not about that. Maya shakes her head, frustrated. It's about respect. And you didn't respect me. You didn't respect anyone here. Elliot takes a step forward, but she holds up a hand. Don't come any closer. Elliot stops in his tracks, his expression one of confusion and regret. Maya, please, I'm trying. I know I messed up, but I want to make it right. She looks at him for a long moment, the silence stretching between them. She wants to believe him. She really does. But there's something holding her back. She's been let down too many times before, and she's not going to let herself be vulnerable again. Not like this. I don't need you to fix anything for me, she says, her voice softening, but her resolve hardening. I can take care of myself. I've always taken care of myself. Elliot stands there for a moment, studying her. He wants to say something else to fix it, but he knows it's not that simple. I understand, he says finally, his voice low. I'm sorry. For everything. And with that he turns and walks out. She saw it then, the fracture in his armor. And it terrified her. It's 2 days after the confrontation at the diner, and Maya is deep in the evening shift, half distracted as she wipes down the counter for what feels like the 100th time. The diner is quieter now, the usual after-dinner rush behind her. The soft hum of the jukebox plays a familiar country tune. Maya glances out the window at the fading daylight, the neon sign outside casting a soft glow against the dark street. It's the same view she's had for years. Nothing ever really changes here. But tonight, she can't shake the feeling that something is different. Just as she's about to take a break, the door swings open, and Elliot walks in again. His eyes immediately find hers, and there's a moment of hesitation in the air. Like both of them know they're about to be forced into something neither of them wants. I told you not to come back, Maya says, but her voice lacks the bite it had before. She's not as angry now. She's just tired. Elliot looks around the diner, shifting on his feet before meeting her eyes. I'm not here to make things weird, he says quietly. I need your help. Maya raises an eyebrow. My help? He nods, his jaw tightening. Yeah, I know I don't deserve it, but I don't know who else to turn to. My dad. He's pushing me to take over his company. He thinks everything's just a transaction, like if I have the right connections, everything will work out. But I don't know if I can do it. Maya hesitates, unsure whether to trust him, but she can see the exhaustion in his face. The same kind of exhaustion she feels every day, just trying to keep everything afloat. She doesn't want to help him, but part of her sees someone who's just as lost as she is. What do you want from me? She asks, her tone softer than before. I don't know, Elliot admits. Maybe some advice? I don't want to be like him. I don't want to be stuck in this world where everything's about power and control. He exhales slowly. I don't want to end up like him. Maya studies him for a moment, trying to make sense of what he's asking. But instead of the smugness she's used to, she sees a man who is searching for something real, something he hasn't found. And it scares her because she doesn't know how to help him. She's just trying to survive in her own way. Elliot, I don't know what to tell you, she says, finally breaking the silence. This place, this life, it's not easy, but it's real. And if you're asking me if you can just walk away from everything you've known and be someone else, I don't think that's how it works. He looks down at his shoes, his expression unreadable. I don't know how to be anyone else. She nods slowly. That's the hardest part, figuring out who you really are. But it's not about changing everything, Elliot. It's about being honest with yourself, about what you really want. There's a long silence between them. Maya can feel the weight of his stare, but she doesn't look away. Why are you telling me this? He finally asks. Maya shrugs, her voice quiet. Because maybe you're not as different from me as you think. Elliot glances up at her, his gaze softer now. I never meant to hurt you. Maya doesn't know what to say to that. She feels a flicker of something small and warm, but she quickly shuts it down. This is still Elliot, the guy who didn't know the value of respect, who thought he could fix everything with money. Look, she says, trying to shift the energy. I have a job to do. You should go. But Elliot doesn't move. Instead, he takes a seat at the counter. I'll stay out of your way. I don't want to be alone with my thoughts right now. I thought maybe I could sit here for a bit. Maya is about to protest, but something stops her. Maybe it's the look in his eyes, or maybe it's because she doesn't want to be alone either. She nods reluctantly. You're lucky I'm too tired to kick you out, she says, giving him a small smile. For the next few hours, they sit in silence. The only sounds the clinking of plates and the occasional hum of the jukebox. Maya serves a few more customers, but her attention keeps drifting back to Elliot. There's a strange calm about him now, something she hadn't seen before. As the night stretches on, she notices how tired he looks, how defeated. She's always been good at reading people, And she can tell that this isn't just about his father or his family's pressure. This is about a man who's never had to face who he really is. Finally, when the last customer leaves and the diner is almost empty, Maya sits down across from him. "You don't have to be like your father," she says quietly. "But you can't just run from it either. You need to decide who you want to be. And you can't do that with your eyes closed." Elliot looks at her, his face unreadable. But there's something in his eyes that wasn't there before. "I know. I'm trying." Maya leans back in her chair, looking at the diner around them. It's small, old-fashioned, and filled with memories she's not ready to let go of. "Just make sure whatever you decide, it's your choice, not his." He nods slowly, his voice low. "Thanks." Maya watches him for a moment longer, wondering what this all means. She's not sure if they're on the same path or if they're just walking parallel to each other. But for the first time since he walked in, she feels a little less angry, a little less bitter. She stands, ready to start closing up. "I'll walk you out." As they head for the door, Maya can't help but notice how much quieter the diner feels now. A little emptier, too, but also somehow just a little more hopeful. The truth has a way of finding light, even when you've buried it in the dark. The days following Elliot's visit are strange. Maya tries to keep everything normal, but she can't ignore the quiet shifts happening inside her. She's been doing this, working at the diner, keeping her head down because it's safe. But now, with Elliot's apology still hanging in the air, and her thoughts constantly drifting back to him, it's harder to find the comfort she once had. The sound of the diner's front door opening makes her glance up from the counter. Elliot stands there again. She doesn't know why it surprises her anymore. After everything, she should be used to it. But still, every time he shows up, something inside her tightens. "Hey," he says softly, his voice carrying more weight than it ever did before. Maya doesn't look at him at first. She's busy wiping down the same spot on the counter, pretending it's the only thing she can focus on. "I thought I made it clear last time," she says, her voice sharper than she intends. "I don't want you here." He sighs, his footsteps slow as he walks up to the counter. "I know," he says, his tone steady, not defensive. "But I need to talk. I can't keep doing this, pretending I don't care." Maya looks up then, meeting his gaze for the first time. She can see it now, he's not hiding behind his pride anymore. But there's something else. Something raw, something unfamiliar to her. "You can't just keep coming in here like this," she says, trying to steady herself. "I'm not some charity. I'm not here to fix you, Elliot." "I don't want you to fix me," he says quickly, almost desperate. I need to say something. And I know I've messed up. I don't know how to make things right, but I need to try. I need to stop running from everything. From you. From myself." Maya's chest tightens at his words. She doesn't want to hear it. She doesn't want to feel the pull of his vulnerability, because she knows where this leads. It's always the same. The moment she lets someone in, they leave. Or worse, they change her. But she can't ignore the truth in his voice. She can't turn away from the man sitting in front of her, breaking apart in ways she hadn't seen coming. "You don't owe me anything, Elliot," she says, her voice quieter now. "I told you before. I'm fine. I don't need your apology. And I don't need you to save me." "I'm not trying to save you," he replies, his voice soft but firm. "I'm trying to save myself." Maya doesn't know how to respond to that. The walls she's built up, walls she thought were impenetrable, are starting to feel thinner. The words she's always held on to, the ones that kept her from getting hurt, are losing their strength. "I don't know who you are anymore," she says, shaking her head, frustration building inside her. "You walk in here like you can just flip a switch and everything's okay. But it's not. You can't fix everything with a few words, Elliot. You can't just walk in here and change everything you've done." He's quiet for a long time, and Maya feels her heart start to race. She doesn't want him to see her like this. She doesn't want to show him how much his words have affected her. "I know I can't fix everything," he says finally, his voice low. "But I'm trying. For the first time, I'm really trying. I don't want to be the person I've been. I don't want to be someone who uses people. who hides behind his name and his money. Maya's breath catches in her throat. She wants to scream to tell him that it's too late, that it's all too messy now. But instead, she just looks at him. For the first time, she sees the weight he's carrying, the pressure of his family, the expectations, the years of pretending to be someone he's not. "You don't get it, do you?" Maya says, her voice barely above a whisper. "You can't just change overnight. You can't just walk in here and think everything will be different. It's not that simple." Elliot doesn't respond at first. He's looking at her, really looking at her, and she's not sure if he's seeing her for the first time or if he's just finally starting to understand. "Maya," he says quietly, his voice breaking, "I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to fix everything I've messed up. But I want to try. I want to be better. For you. For me." Her eyes well up with tears, and she quickly looks away. She can't. She won't. Let him see how much he's getting to her. "I don't need you to try," she says, her voice cracking. "I need you to just leave." The words hang in the air between them, heavy and painful. For a moment, Maya regrets them, but it's too late. Elliot stands up slowly, his hands gripping the edge of the counter. "I'm sorry, Maya. I really am. For everything." He turns to leave, but before he does, he pauses, looking over his shoulder. "I don't know what's going to happen between us, but I want you to know that I'm not going anywhere. Not yet." Maya watches him go, her chest tight, her heart a mess of conflicting emotions. She doesn't know if she's ready to forgive him. She doesn't know if she can. But for the first time, she wonders if it's possible. If they could both heal from everything that's happened. As the door closes behind him, the diner feels quieter, emptier. Maya takes a deep breath and wipes her eyes. She's always prided herself on being strong, on being independent. But right now, she feels small. She needs space. Time to figure out what she really wants. What she's willing to fight for. Sometimes love isn't enough. Sometimes it's just the beginning of goodbye. The next day, Maya stands at the counter, staring at the empty space where Elliot had sat. It's quiet now, too quiet, and the silence feels heavier than usual. She's gotten used to the hum of the diner, the steady rhythm of coffee being poured and silverware clinking. But today, it feels like everything's off, like the world is holding its breath. She's running on autopilot. Orders come in and she fills them mechanically. Her mind isn't on the food or the customers. Still with Elliot, and with herself. The weight of what he said to her, the confession, the vulnerability, hangs in her chest like a stone. She keeps telling herself it doesn't matter. She doesn't need him. She doesn't need anyone. But it's harder than she thought. She thought she could protect herself. But somehow, his words broke through the walls she'd spent years building. Outside, a storm is rolling in. Thick clouds stretch across the sky, darkening the city. It's only mid-afternoon, but the light feels muted, like the world is fading into gray. Maya watches the rain begin to hit the window, each drop a reminder of the mess inside her. Then the bell over the door jingles, and Maya's heart stops. She doesn't have to look up to know who it is. Elliot steps inside, drenched from the downpour, his suit clinging to him, soaked through. His hair is plastered to his forehead. He looks like he's been through a storm of his own. "Maya," he says, his voice quieter than usual. She doesn't respond immediately. The sight of him, the fact that he's here again, throws her off balance. She wants to be angry, to turn him away, but she's too tired, too confused. "Please, just give me a minute," Elliot says, his eyes searching hers. "I need to talk." She doesn't want to hear it. She doesn't want to open herself up to him again. Not after everything that's happened. "Maya, He takes a step closer, his voice shaky. "I didn't come here to ask for your forgiveness. I need to tell you something. Something I've been running from." Maya finally looks up, meeting his gaze. There's something raw in his eyes. Something that feels too real for her to ignore. She feels herself weakening, but she stands her ground. "What is it, Elliot?" He pauses for a moment, like he's trying to find the right words. "I'm scared, Maya. I've spent my whole life pretending I know what I'm doing, pretending I have it all figured out. And I've spent so much time hiding behind my dad's name, behind money, behind the idea that I could just buy my way out of everything. But the truth is, I don't know how to be the person I want to be. Maya listens, her chest tight, her mind racing. Why are you telling me this? She asks quietly. Because I've been running from it for so long. Running from the parts of me that scare me. But I can't anymore. I can't pretend I don't care about you. His voice breaks on the last words, and it feels like the weight of everything he's been holding back is spilling out in a rush. Maya feels the air in the room change, thickening with the tension between them. She wants to say something, to push him away, but the words stick in her throat. She doesn't know what to do with this. She doesn't know if she can even trust him anymore. I don't know what you want from me, she says, her voice barely a whisper. You can't just walk in here and expect everything to be okay. You can't undo everything you've done with a few words. It doesn't work like that. Elliot nods, his eyes downcast. I know. I don't deserve a second chance. I don't even deserve you looking at me like you are right now. Maya opens her mouth to speak, but the words don't come. She's afraid to speak, afraid that if she does, it will all come rushing out. The hurt, the confusion, the longing she's been pushing down, the truth that she doesn't want to admit, even to herself. But then, the silence between them stretches too long, and she can't stand it anymore. Elliot, she says, her voice raw, this isn't just about you. I've spent so long telling myself that I'm fine, that I don't need anyone. But I'm not fine, and I don't know how to make myself okay again. I don't know how to do any of this. He looks at her then, really looks at her, and for a brief moment, she sees everything she's been hiding. All the cracks in her own armor. I don't know what to do with all this, she continues, her voice shaking now. I don't know if I can forgive you. I don't know if I can even forgive myself for wanting to. Elliot takes a step closer, his voice low. Maya, I'm not asking you to forgive me. I'm not asking for anything. I just need you to know that I'm here. I'm here, and I'm not going anywhere. Not unless you want me to. The words hit her like a punch, and suddenly, she's overwhelmed by everything she's been holding back. She feels the weight of the past few weeks, the confusion, the anger, the hope that maybe, just maybe, things could be different. But she can't keep living in this limbo. She can't keep waiting for something that might never come. I don't know if I can do this, Elliot, she says softly, her voice breaking. I don't know if I'm strong enough to keep trying, to keep hoping. For a moment, Elliot just stands there, watching her. Then, without saying another word, he walks over to the door. His back is to her, and Maya doesn't know what she's supposed to feel. But as the door swings open, he turns one last time. Sometimes, love isn't enough, Maya. But sometimes, it's just the beginning of goodbye. And with that, he leaves. Maya stands there, staring at the door for what feels like an eternity, her chest tight with emotions she can't untangle. The storm outside rages on, the rain pounding against the windows. Inside, it's quiet, too quiet. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's choosing love anyway. The rain hasn't stopped. If anything, it's getting worse. Maya sits at the counter of the diner, her hands wrapped around a cup of coffee that's gone cold. The storm outside mirrors the chaos inside her, the turmoil of what she's just gone through, and the uncertainty of what's to come. She hasn't seen Elliot since the day he left, and the space between them feels like an ocean. She's been keeping busy, doing her best to forget, but she knows deep down that the knot in her chest won't untangle until she faces the truth. She has to face him, and she has to face what she's been running from, the possibility that she might want to give this another chance. But fear keeps holding her back. Fear of getting hurt again. Fear of letting someone in only for them to leave when things get tough. Fear of trusting him even though every part of her wants to. Maya's lost in her thoughts when the bell above the door jingles again. She doesn't need to look up to know who it is. Elliot. His eyes meet hers, and for the first time, she doesn't look away. She's been avoiding him for days, but now, it feels like something has shifted. The world outside might be drowning in rain, but in here, it's quieter. The noise of her own thoughts finally quiets enough for her to hear what's really inside her heart. He's standing there, soaked through again, but there's a new determination in his posture. No more running. No more hiding. Maya, he says, his voice steady. I need to talk to you. I know I messed up. I know I can't change the past, but I need you to know that I'm trying. I'm not asking for your forgiveness, not right away. But I need you to see that I'm not the same guy I was. She stands there, torn between the urge to run and the feeling that this moment is something she can't ignore. She knows she has to decide. She can't keep circling around this. I can't fix everything, Elliot continues, taking a step toward her. But I'm here now. I want to try. I want to be real. Not for my father, not for anyone else. But for me. For you. Maya's heart is pounding in her chest. She's been so focused on protecting herself, on keeping everything at arm's length. But now, standing here with Elliot, she realizes how much she's been missing, how much she's been avoiding. What are you asking me, Elliot? Maya asks, her voice trembling. She's not sure what she's asking for herself, but she needs to know if he's really ready to be who he says he is. I'm asking you to take a chance on me, he says, his eyes searching hers. I'm asking you to let me show you that I can be someone worth trusting, someone worth loving. The words hang in the air, heavy with meaning. Maya swallows hard. She feels the weight of her own fears, her own walls, but she also feels something else, something she can't deny. She takes a deep breath, forcing herself to say what she's been avoiding. I don't know if I can do this, Elliot. I don't know if I'm strong enough to risk everything again. But I also don't know if I can walk away from this. From you. Elliot's expression softens. He takes another step forward, his gaze never leaving hers. You don't have to decide everything right now, he says quietly. But I'm here, Maya. I'm not going anywhere. And I'll wait. I'll wait for you to figure this out. Maya's eyes well up with tears, but she doesn't look away. She's been holding so much inside, so much anger and hurt, and she doesn't know what to do with it. But as she looks at Elliot, she knows something has shifted. She knows that she's ready to face her own fears, to face him, to face herself. I don't know if I can trust you yet, she says, her voice barely above a whisper. But I want to try. I want to believe that we can be something real. Elliot's eyes soften with relief, and for the first time, Maya sees the sincerity in his eyes. She knows he's been broken just like her. She knows that no one is perfect. But maybe, just maybe, they can figure this out together. I won't let you down, he promises, his voice steady. I won't make the same mistakes. I'll prove it to you. The rain outside is still pouring down, but Maya feels like the storm in her heart has finally begun to quiet. It's not over. They still have a long road ahead of them. But for the first time in a long time, she's not scared of what might come next. She's ready to take that step forward. I'm scared, she admits, her voice breaking, but I'm willing to try. And for the first time, Elliot smiles. It's not the arrogant smile she's used to, but a real one. A smile that says he's ready to meet her halfway. I'm scared too, he says softly. But I'll be here, every step of the way. Maya takes a deep breath, feeling the weight of everything they've been through. It's not the end of their story, it's just the beginning. But for now, it's enough to know that they're both willing to fight for it. She reaches for his hand, the space between them closing. And for the first time in a long time, she feels like maybe, just maybe, love is worth the risk. Do you believe some people are worth the wait? Maya stands in front of the diner, the warm golden glow from the windows spilling out into the street. The rain has stopped, but the air is thick with the scent of wet pavement and fresh beginnings. It's a quiet morning, the kind where everything feels like it's paused, waiting for something to happen. Her fingers brush against the door handle, but she hesitates. She's come a long way from that moment when she first met Elliot. The man who seemed to have everything figured out, the man who broke her heart in a way she couldn't have predicted. But it's different now. Everything's different. She knows that the life she's built here, her routine, her comfort, the walls she's surrounded herself with, will never feel the same. Because for the first time, She's ready to break through them. Ready to take a chance not just on Elliot but on herself. As she steps inside, the bell above the door rings, a familiar sound that instantly calms her nerves. The diner is almost empty, save for a few regulars in the back booths. And there he is, Elliot. He's sitting at the counter, just like he always has. But now there's a quiet confidence in the way he holds himself. He's not the man he was when he first walked through that door, unsure of who he was or what he wanted. He's different, and she's different too. "Hey," Maya says softly, her voice carrying through the empty space. Elliot looks up, his face lighting up in that way that makes her heart skip a beat. The old him, the one who was wrapped in his wealth and pride, is gone. In his place is someone real, someone who's been broken, but is putting himself back together. "Hey," he replies, his smile warm, but not the smug smile he used to wear. This one is gentle, filled with everything he's been working for, everything he's ready to give her. She takes a deep breath, stepping closer to him. She doesn't need words to explain what she's feeling. She doesn't need to say anything more than she already has. "I'm sorry," Elliot says quietly, his voice thick with sincerity. "I should have never walked away, but I'm not walking away now. Not again. I know I can't undo the past, but I want to make things right. For us." Maya smiles, her heart swelling with a mix of relief and something else. A quiet hope that she's kept buried for so long. "You don't need to apologize," she says, her voice soft but steady. "We both needed to get here on our own. I couldn't have come back to you unless I was ready. I had to trust myself first." Elliot nods, understanding. "And I had to trust myself. I had to stop pretending I had it all figured out." The silence between them is comfortable now. No longer awkward or filled with unspoken tension. Just the quiet hum of the diner, the sound of the rain tapping softly against the windows. "I've been thinking a lot about what you said," Maya continues, "about being scared. I think we were both scared in different ways. But maybe that's okay. Maybe that's how we grow." Elliot's eyes soften. "I don't want you to be scared anymore, Maya. Not about me. Not about us. We've both fought so hard to get here. I don't want to lose that." Maya smiles, the weight on her shoulders lightening with every word. She finally feels like she can breathe again. "You won't lose me," she says softly. "I'm here, and I'm ready. Ready to try. Ready to see where this goes." Elliot stands up then, his hand reaching for hers. She takes it without hesitation. This time there's no fear. Only the quiet certainty that they're in this together. "Maya, I know it's not going to be perfect. Nothing ever is," he says, squeezing her hand gently. "But I'm willing to put in the work. For you. For us." She nods, her smile growing. "Me too." He pulls her closer, his arms wrapping around her in a warm embrace. The world outside the diner is still, but inside, everything feels right. Feels like home. They stand there for a long moment, just holding each other. No words, no pressure. Just the simple truth that they've found something worth fighting for. As they pull apart, Maya takes a step back and looks at him, really looks at him. This man who has been so many things, yet somehow has become the person she never knew she needed. "I think we can do this," she says, her voice full of quiet strength. "We just have to take it one step at a time." Elliot smiles, his eyes bright with hope. One step at a time sounds perfect. The rain has stopped outside, and the first rays of sunlight peek through the clouds, spilling across the diner's windows in a soft golden glow. Feels like a new beginning, a chance for both of them to rewrite their story. Maya leans in, and for the first time they kiss, not out of desperation or need, but because it's right. Because they've both learned that love isn't about perfection, but about growing together. And in that kiss, in that moment, Maya knows that whatever happens next, she's ready. She's not alone anymore, and neither is Elliot. Thank you for watching this story to the end. If you enjoyed this story, you will surely love the next one. It's as crazier and more intriguing as you can ever imagine. So do check it out. Click on the image showing on your screen right now to watch the next one.